Alrighty then. Everything should be all set. Just gonna do a little bit of a audio check as usual. Hey guys, Dante here, and welcome back to my channel, The Burgos Art, and welcome back to another edition of Sunday Night Art Stream. Everything should be working audio-wise. I got footage going out over to Instagram, footage going out over into Twitch and YouTube, and I think everything seems good. I also have our background music is now ambient background music, so hopefully the people on Instagram don't have to sit here in complete silence. I might raise the volume a little bit more, that way everyone can hear it better. Give me a second, I'm just listening very carefully to make sure everything's going through, so hold on. All right, I'll probably raise the volume a bit more, and then we'll jump into tonight's project. Okay, I think we're good. Get some water before we start off. So where we left off, we have been doing on and off for the past week since last Sunday. We have been sculpting these pins. Sculpted and primed right now. We have a mouth, a monster mouth pin, a little Shop of Horror inspired big old lip pin with vines around it. We got this weird, disgusting maggot. We're gonna finish off our goat and maybe jump into a wolf or a slimy face tonight. For those of you who are jumping in for the first time today, first off, all the videos are saved roughly for a week or so on Twitch. But if you miss those videos, you can also go to YouTube, where all of these videos for the pins and previous streams, as well as a few older videos I've done, more scripted, how to do kind of videos regarding mostly artwork, are also over on D.A. Burgos, the Burgos Art, on YouTube. Hey, guys, I see some people are jumping on in the. I see some people are jumping on over in the Instagram feed. Good to see you guys. Yeah, that's an Audrey 2. That's an Audrey 2 pin. As I was saying, for those of you who have not jumped in these past several days, the way we go about it is I take these old trash pins. These are old pins from Monday, June 25th, and Sunday, July 1st. Or Tuesday, July 1st. There was a promotion for Spectacular Spider-Man way back in the day. I have a whole bag of these that people were throwing out because they were like, once the promotion was done, they just went to draw them out. So I said, no, give me these pins. They were like, okay, sure. What you gonna do with them? And I've kept them in my art supply ever since because I am a freaking pack rat. But hey, it comes in handy. I think that's a man thing. We hold on to stuff and then we tell ourselves, no, one day this will come in handy. And when it does, it's like the best. Anyway, take these pins. We use Crayola air dried foam on top to give us a basic, base. Let that sucker dry for a good few days to really get hardened. And then sculpt over it. That is way too loud. And then sculpt over it using epoxy 2-part clay. And that's it. So let's get into it. The music is really loud to me. For you, so anyone who's over in the chat on any of the streams, let me know if it's a bit too loud and if I'm screaming too loud to just be heard. Let me know. Oh, before I get my hands dirty, I like to give a little bit of geek news. Check out what I bought. I shouldn't have bought this. I really shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have, but I had to, man. Oh, so I'll answer that question in a minute. We have a question in one of the chats. First things first. I'm a huge Gargoyles fan. I'm a huge geek of it. If you've never seen the show, do yourself a favor. At least watch the first, I think, 4 episodes. Like the first 4 episodes are one contained pilot. Watch them uncensored, not the Disney Channel version. Watch the original 1994 version, and that pilot episode will give you the idea of the entire series. If you're a fan of Batman, the animated series, this is Disney's answer to it, and they would never make another show like it. And I have the main character, Goliath, over on my bookshelf. I bought the villain, Xanatos, and I had to go ahead. I told myself I wasn't going to, but he was in the store. I didn't have to pay for shipping. He's like $40 altogether. This hound, this pit bull of a creature, is named Bronx. He is a good boy. I love him so much. Anyway, I just want to show that off because I told myself I wasn't gonna buy it because I'm not gonna buy every character. It's tempting, but I'm not. But I have the main character, the main villain, and I have Bronx. And for now, I am happy. We'll talk more about that later. So, to answer that question, the question we had is, once again, what kind of epoxy material I'm using. I am using Smooth On. That's the molding and casting company I use for a lot of my rubber, silicone, urethane molds. Smooth On Free Form Sculpt. I actually got this in a store in Brooklyn, just off of the L train in Graham Avenue. But Freeform Sculpt, if you're in the city, if you're in New York City, go to The Complete Sculptor. The Complete Sculptor, or Sculptor, is all about all these different brands, and I'm sure they have it. But you can also probably buy it online. This is a water-based mixture, which means it's still an epoxy, but it's very sticky. So if you you need to wet your hands and wet your tools to really use it. It's a bit of a learning curve because of that. Too much water and it gets mushy. Not enough water and it sticks to you. But I've gotten pretty good at using it so far. And because in the epoxy it doesn't shrink. It just hardens nice and strong. Freeform Sculpt. Smooth On. Complete Sculpture. The Complete Sculptor store in Manhattan. Or once again, just find it like on Amazon or something. Or, obviously go to the main website. Smooth On. Someone in the chat wrote 5. What are you referring to when you write 5? What's the 5 referring to? Yes, and yes, as I keep saying, I'm going to eventually bite the bullet, see how much it costs, and do the Streamlabs package. I'm going to pay for it That way I won't have to have two different streams going on at the same time and everyone can see what's going on in the chat all at once. Eventually I'll do that. Oh, thank you. Katorius Rex, our good buddy Katorius Rex is watching over on Instagram. And he says it's 5 episodes. Yeah, like the pilot is like 5 episodes. But if you watch those 5 episodes, it will definitely give you a vibe of what this series is about. And you know what? There's so many people I watch on YouTube who you know, I like watching reaction videos mainly because I like seeing people's I like seeing people's genuine emotional and mental reaction to like shows and cartoons that came out like earlier. To see whether or not they truly stand up or is it just us enjoying it from our childhood. And you get things like, you know, Gravity Falls, which is technically like years old now. People still watch Gravity Falls and are reacting now. People are reacting now to the She-Ra series still. I have yet to find someone who's like dedicated enough to sit down and watch the Gargoyle series. I've seen people watch like react to the Steven Universe series, which itself is really long. But like, I just want someone to watch. I want to see someone new who's like, oh, Disney, you know, Amphibia and Moon Girl and all that other stuff. I want them to watch the first 5 episodes of Gargoyles and be like, why does Disney not make stuff like this anymore? Well, I say anymore. In truth, it was a rarity even when it came out. But if you're into like gothic storylines with a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of magic, that's the show for you. Oh yeah, so once again so Instagram, I stopped streaming on Instagram for a while because their algorithm changed and they weren't saving videos, but you know, it was this whole back and forth thing. So my streams are normally broadcast directly to a camera right here, off to this side, which is Twitch, and then it copies over to YouTube. So Twitch and YouTube are kind of combined, and then I have a camera over here, and this is a camera for Instagram right now, because now Instagram allows you to not just do long form videos, but save them on your main page. So I'm trying to get back into Instagram just to, like, you know, just to spread the love and the word, spread the good word. So the bug is pretty much done. I'm just adding, since I don't want this whole heavy weighted piece of clay to fall off the pin, I'm also slightly wrapping the sculpture around the edges. So I'm just doing that now to finish off this particular sculpture. That should do it. So I titled this stream Sculpting, with part 4, but I also titled it as Sculpting and Painting. Because I'm hoping we'll get like 2 sculpts pretty far in. Ooh, well, we'll finish, come here, yo. Boom. We'll finish this sculpt, maybe start another one, and then maybe go back and start doing some light painting on what we have already. Hey, Orc Punch, thank you for joining over on Instagram. Okay. Orc Punch, my Sunday's been good. I I slept way more than I should have or needed to this morning. Like I really slept in more than I should have. By the time I actually did get up, got some stuff done. helped out Mama Burgos with some personal chores she needed help with. You know, had to be an adult, went out, did some shopping, that kind of stuff. But it's going good. Just took it real easy today. Shoot. Take some of this off on the edge. You have to remember, once you mix it, there's about a 20-minute work time before it starts to get a bit too stiff. Okay, let's see. I was going upward with the hair, so let's do that. So I'm envisioning it as like a semi-skull, but it has hair, kind of goat head. But I'm not sure if that will actually come across. So we might need to like do some fiddling with this. Like I might do the big mane he has right now, and then I might actually add another layer on top to kind of flare it out a bit more. So Orc Punch over here, you know, not it's like he's like a it's like a weird vigilante. He's suddenly he returns to us, and he's been helping me with so many damn things. He got my Game Boy printer to work. It just needed a bit of a cleaning on the inside from what he says, but I didn't have the tools to even open it up because, you know, it's what's the word, proprietary. Screws and nuts and bolts and all that. So Orc Punch over here got my Game Boy printer to work, and using his old Game Boy Advance, it's like a dual wire Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color wire. We got a test out of it, so we knew it worked. And then this weekend, myself, and a few other people, you know, freaking trolled around New York City, just hitting like random geek stuff areas, you know, video game stores and things like that. And I went ahead and bought myself a third-party wire. So basically, he fixed my Game Boy printer. He did a little bit of a tweak on my Game Boy Color, which still needs a bit of a cleaning on the inside when I get a chance. You know, it still needs a little bit of work. He got my freaking printer working. Not my 3D printer, but my regular printer working, which just decided to stop working. And he got it working via some random tutorial online. Out of like 1,000 tutorials, I must have missed that one tutorial. And it was a thing where like you would never know how to do it. It's like, press this button 4 times, and then it unlocks a secret area in your computer that no one's allowed to go to. And then he got my freaking printer working. He's just on a winning streak when it comes to actually, like, just coming in a clutch when I have all these mechanical issues. Looks like a Mothman, doesn't he? Like, this is gonna be painted. Is this meant to be painted white? So it's like the skull, like the goat skull, the way it has like points. But because of the big fluffy mane, he comes off more like a Mothman character. So I don't know now. I don't know what to do with this guy. If I paint him black and gray, it will definitely come off a bit more of a moth. I want to paint this skull area white, and then I'll paint these brown, and then I'll do the mane like black and gray. I want a goat, but yeah, I don't know. It still looks nice as a monster, I think. I still think it looks good as like a creature. It's just not the creature I expected. I think that works though. Yeah. Leaving for now. This is silicone matte, so stuff doesn't really stick too much to it, which is good. So we're gonna leave him off to the side. And as a bug and a goat, we have a little bit here left. I guess we'll start on the wolf. I actually want to do the werewolf, kind of like a Ninja Turtle thing, where he has like the exaggerated, like, what you call, like almost figure eight kind of like angry scowl the old Ninja Turtle toys used to have. Give me a second, everyone. I think about if you haven't seen it, if you guys haven't seen it, you gotta check out was it Incognito? No, Incognito Inc. is where they work. Crud, what was that show about? Like about a company. It's the company. It's a world where all of the conspiracies are true except flat Earth. And the company they work at is Incognito Inc. That's where they work. But I can't remember the name of the show now. It got screwed over, as many shows do. It had like 2 seasons, I think, and it was getting ready for a 3rd, and they canceled it. Inside Job. There we go. It took me a second to remember it. There's a show, Inside Job, and freaking Mothman. I think he works for HR. Oh, no, he's like a therapist or something. He's like a counselor. But since everyone at Incognito Inc. is like super stressed, he's like, just 2 more years, and I can retire. He's like always like stressed out. I'm probably gonna bring this out more. I just want to get the kind of idea what I'm looking at here. It's more like a piggy. Should I do an ugly pig? No, I want to do a werewolf. I want to do a werewolf, and he's also gonna have a big old mane. always love the fact that like Mothman. So Mothman's design is that his human body has like a moth face, but he has like bird wings. That's always freaking bothered me. I'm like, wouldn't he have like big, tattered, like actual moth wings? No, he has bird wings. Mothman. Well, what are the three creatures? No. Like the two creatures that always showed up in those tabloids. It was always Mothman and like, was it Batboy? I think Batboy was like the other famous like cryptid. Well, like quote unquote modern cryptid, as in like he was like in newspapers and stuff. I need something to fill in the mouth. He's gonna have a closed, gridded, closed mouth anyway. Like I said, I want to give him the Ninja Turtle kind of mouth. So I'm going to probably put some aluminum right here. I want something that could fill in the space that won't like shrink or shrivel. Yeah. Let's see if I have some aluminum. Aluminum. Give me a second. Orc Punch. Remind me. Skinwalker. What is the definition of that? Is that like... Are those like mimics? Like people who... They look like your friend. They sound like your friend, but they're not. Is that what the Skinwalkers are? I get them mixed up with something else. I asked because there's a mod in Lethal Company called Skinwalker, and the whole idea is that like it basically, I don't know if it reskins another pre-existing monster in the game or if the mod is a new monster, but it basically turns it into one of the player models and then starts repeating stuff the player said earlier in the game. Like it records it and replays it back. That's called a Skinwalker mod. Okay, that's it. Yeah, they mimic sound to lure you in. Oh, what's that movie I always mention? The Ruin. There was a movie I saw like on one of the movie channels years ago called The Ruin or The Ruins, and it among other things in that film, the kind of Skinwalker thing is in there too. Like there are legit like audio mimics in that movie too. The movie isn't great, but I think the creature concept, like the actual thing they're fighting, and I use the term fighting very loosely, I think it is. That is such a cool like monster concept. The teeth are one tooth is longer than the other, but I'm okay with that. You mentioned Skinwalker and like the mimicking of audio makes me think also of um Siren Head, which is interesting because that is a perfect example of like a true modern day cryptid because its entire origin can be traced back to the original artist. It was a guy I think on Instagram. I think Instagram probably has more than one account. Who used to just do creepy monster designs, and that is the one that like really picked up. And I think it also picked up steam because to correspond with Siren Head, there was a video of like probably England. It was very foggy. You couldn't see the city, and someone's videotaping from their room as a ambulance with a broken siren is somewhere in the city, and it's the most eerie sounding thing in the world. Just this noise of like a twisted siren in the middle of like urban area. I remember that was like a thing for a while. Siren Head. So I'm kind of trying to like sculpt teeth-like pattern. I don't know how well it's coming out. Maybe I should literally just bite the bullet and just sculpt individual teeth, which is such a pain. There we go. So let's see if this next part actually works. I'm going to see if I could get the Ninja Turtle kind of curving to the mouth. Oh yeah, there we go. I like that. That works. I want to bring out the chin more before I also do the same thing with the chin. I mean with the bottom lip. And then we'll sculpt hair around like the edges and everything. I'm still going to sculpt over the chin, give it some scruff. But I figured for now, in case I don't sculpt over the entirety of it, we should do a little bit of hair detail. Alright, looks good, looks good. Alright, so 8:45, 8:47 actually. So let's say 8:45, since I might have started like a few minutes later than at, then 8 o'clock. This is for the 40 to 45 minute announcement. Over on the right side, if you're watching me on Twitch or YouTube, you'll see this. On Instagram, you don't, so I'm just gonna announce it. On the right side of my screen is a list of all the conventions. Well, sorry, 3 of the conventions I'll be doing this year. Of the 4 conventions, that's right. So far, I got 4 conventions in the bag, ready to roll up. Next weekend is Cosmic Con New York. That is in Queens, New York. Cosmic Con. It is the let me double check. It is the 6th and the 7th. If I believe I'm doing my math right, no, not side. correction, not 6th and 7th. Because today is, where's my calendar? Today's the 11th. It is the 16th and the 7th. There we go. 16th and 7th of this month. That's next weekend. Cosmic Con. I will have a table there in Queens, New York. Check out Cosmic Con. I will then also be doing Long Island tabletop gaming. That's later on in April. And then I'll also be doing Brooklyn Comic Con. Guess where that's at? And Brooklyn Comic Con is in June, I believe. So that's Cosmic Con this month. April is Long Island tabletop gaming for creatures and card games and all kind of like, you know, D&D and Monopoly fans. And then Brooklyn Comic Con. And then later on, I'll be doing Long Island retro gaming. That is a fun convention. It's a 3-day convention last time I checked. And it is a convention for all things retro video game from all the years. Check it out. Because even if you don't buy anything with your ticket, there's plenty of free games to play. So check out those conventions. I had a bunch of pins. I need to close a bag while I'm here. Ah, there it is. Sorry, I had a bag of material behind me that I didn't want to dry up, so I had to close it up. Let's give him a little exaggerated like wrinkles in the nose area or the snoot area. So try to give him beads. Well, I'm thinking, give him such a heavy brow that you don't see his eyes. Something like that. With the eye, we're just gonna paint the inside of this like red or something. And then heavy cheekbones. And something a little bit tougher. Come here, you. That looks good so far. Yeah, then we do a scruff of hair here, scruff of hair on the sides. Let's do the ears as well, at least. Yeah. I want to do some kind of hair pattern on the top half of his ears. Orc Punch and I were just watching Corridor Digital's video where they had one of the guys who animated not all of the scenes with the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, but he animated a few. And just talking about how hard it was to animate this monstrous bestial creature in just his motion, the way he moves, the way he talks, while still, trying to show that he's a person on the inside. Like this, it's really interesting. Just trying to, trying to figure out, how does this creature move? How does he react? How does his shoulders move? You're making a creature from scratch. So it's a really nice video. That's what happens. You have too much water, and it begins to almost dissolve on you. I'm doing this for now, just to put hair on top of his head, but I might actually sculpt on top of this another piece and give him a poof. Almost a Donkey Kong kind of poof where the hair kind of goes forward. I might decide to do that. I am not skilled at sculpting hair. I just do lines and lines and lines in various directions. If I do them all in the same direction, it's more like I'm doing a pattern scale. Like it's like a reptile. I usually just mix up my lines a little bit. Looks good so far. Orc Punch, thank you for joining us. Good night, good night. Yeah. Plays a bit stiff. I'm kind of getting like, ironically, you know, I showed you the picture of Bronx, from Gargoyles, but I am kind of getting Demon Dog vibes from the Ghostbuster movies. So it's funny because I don't think, Greg Weisman, the creator of Gargoyles, took inspiration from the Ghostbuster movie. But I remember seeing back when like music videos when anime turned to music videos was like the most prevalent thing on YouTube. When YouTube was nothing but animes made into music videos and people making fake trailers using clips from other movies, which I did at one point. My channel was a little bit of that because I wanted to test my editing skills. I want to see how well I can make a video, and I always posted it as like not a real trailer. I remember people using the Demon Dog clip from the first Ghostbusters movie when the dogs break out of their stone shells as like clips for fake trailers of live action Gargoyles. Because every year they're like, oh, they're gonna make a live action movie. Keen and Peele are gonna make it or something like that, you know? Whatever. Wishing, never to happen. Because Disney wouldn't let it. I'm telling you right now. If all their Marvel movies, if not all, but if the majority of their Marvel stuff has, you know, lighthearted comedy, action, adventure, like they're not gonna do a gothic story, freaking Gargoyles. They're not gonna do Blade, you know? Give us some chopped up ridges. Maybe I should do that with the goat too before it fully dries. Just like chop up the edges. Yeah, you know what? Why not? It actually helps with the texture. By like doing a little chopping up, like right into the side of it. Okay. Getting my fingers caught on clay. It's all sticking, of course. It's a pretty good pattern right there. Gotta get rough with the hair textures, you know? It's a wolf, why not? Yeah, look at that. That looks really nice. I want to scruff out the chin. Give a little scruff on top as well. But for now, we gotta let it sit. Because if I keep grabbing it, it's gonna be an issue. Let it sit. Let it begin to harden. The next 20 minutes or so. And then we can get in there and start adding more detail. How about a gooey face? I have no idea what I'm going for here. Just gonna do a gooey face. See what happens. We'll just do some basic stuff on this, and then I feel like I want to start the painting. Cool. It is already 9:30, so maybe we could get this guy painted up. Remember to hydrate. As in all things in life, remember to hydrate. Okay. I want to give this guy a really like asymmetrical droopy face, but he also needs to look a little sad. So I'm gonna definitely bring down the brows a bit more later. Just add a bit more clay to them and bring them down a bit more. I think in the end I might have to just paint this into a Mothman. It didn't read goat the way I wanted it to. So it might just be a Mothman. Woo! That's an abrupt tonal shift, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm trying to give him in response to my buddy Ray on Instagram. I was trying to give him like droopy mouth, but now he looks like he has like a beard. Looks like a wayward soul. If I paint him green, he's a slime dude. But he looks more like a wayward soul kind of character, which also kind of works. goopy, man. He's so goopy. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop for the goopy, man. I don't want to mix any more clay together. Freaking, this music's all over the place. I don't want to mix any more clay together, but you kind of get the idea. I'm gonna do like layers of goop everywhere. See, maybe he's a ghost, or maybe he's a slimy guy. I don't know yet. But for him, we're gonna stop. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands. And then let's paint this guy. I'm also going to change the water out. This water has a little bit of this stuff in it, and I don't want that getting caught in my paint. I'm getting caught on my paint brushes. Stand by. Okay, folks, we are shifting gears from sculpting to painting. Got my new water. Gonna let these guys continue to dry. Let's jump into the mouth. Paintbrushes. Where are my paintbrushes? Stand by. Ooh, I just realized I need to put away some clay that I don't want to dry up poorly. So we're going to put away some clay real quick. We're gonna try to anyway. Bit of a mess here. There we go. Some basic size. We're not going crazy right now. So, pretty simple. We're going to do like a whitish yellow for the teeth. And then do some fleshy tones for the outside. Let's start. There's our white. Mix a little bit of this mustard yellow in that. That should be good. We got some fleshy tone stuff. There we go. Let's move the unwanted over here for now. We will go with some red, just to have it on handy. Also got this nice kind of brown color, which might be good. I got a few skin tone-esque colors. These are nice. Yeah, these are definitely good skin tone colors. Okay. And even though this is meant to be holding our paints, these little slots, we'll be using our handy dandy eggshell palette. Even though it's primed in yellow, I still want to put some yellow. I mean, primed in yellow. You hear me? Even though it's primed in white, I still want to put some white on it. So we'll start with a little bit of white around the teeth, and then, you know, the simple base, if that makes sense. And while it's still wet, we'll mix in yellow around the edges. We're going to approach these similarly to how I did my my resin sculptures. You know, we'll do some wet brush, some dry brush. We'll see how it goes. This is definitely closer to the skin tone as opposed to like a slightly brighter yellow than I wanted. So maybe we'll mix a different yellow into that instead. Let's see, maybe mix a different yellow. Tissue, oh Tissue, where are you? I brought you here, Tissue. Ah, there you are. So I'm painting the edges where it meets the gums, but I'm also going right in between everything as well. Just reintroducing a bit more white back into it. I want to try out this brown I have. It's a nice brown. Thinking, while everything's still wet, do a little brown in the center. And then when it dries up a bit, we'll go back in there with black. Smaller brush, of course. I don't think this has been opened yet. It has not. Granted, this is a smaller brush, but it's a bit stiff. So it's not really flowing the way I want it to. This one's a bit more broad, but let's see. Maybe if I get it wet, it'll narrow it out. Yeah, there you go. It's a good start. It's not a bad brown. Okay. Yeah, this brush is a bit too stiff for like gentle painting. It's good for like rough stuff. Let's start the skin tones with a very light skin. I like this brown. Like all of these are kind of mustard and light browns and tans. Like they all work very well for skin tones. But we'll start with this with a base. Oh yeah, I like this color. It's a good color here. It's really good paint. It goes on so smooth. Courtesy of my sister. She is awesome. Let's mix a little bit of this skin tone for a pinch of the brown. I want to see how that looks. Not bad. want to kind of blend this by the gum, by what would be the gums, I guess. And just kind of blend them lightly. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Can we find a somewhat finer brush to get beyond the teeth, to get inside the gap? Where's my brushes? There they are. Stand by. I bring to you the struggle of always looking for a smaller brush. Let's take this brown. I could just go ahead and add straight black to it. But the artist in me is very curious. If I try a little bit of green, like a bluish green. With the brown. Let's see how that looks. I'm gonna take some of this brown and a little bit of green, and we're gonna see how does that darken? How does that look as a dark color? Now the green holds out. Let's get a bit more of the brown in there. I do like it because it's not just plain black. Let's see. I do like it. A little bit of brown and a little bit of this, technically like very like dull brown. For a little bit of this greenish blue, I think it looks nice as opposed to just doing black on the inside. Admittedly, everything's still a little wet, so it's kind of not so much painting, it's kind of like smishing it around at the moment. It's acrylic. Once again, it dries quickly, so let's stick with it and see what happens. Not bad. I actually do like this. I like going with the green against all the skin tones and yellows. But I do gotta do some touch-ups now on the teeth. Ooh. So I'm trying to like fix the yellows that got messed up by the greens. But since everything's still a little wet, it's giving it like a... It's going from having dark green innards to having like dark green like saliva. Like it's kind of blending it into the teeth. I kind of like that. You know what? Yeah, let's just go ahead. Let's go with that blending. Since the teeth are still a little wet, I'm gonna pull it between the gums, between the teeth. That is, like a little bit like that. That looks nice. Hope it's not too washed out on the Twitch stream. I know there's a lot of bright light here, but that looks nice. We're gonna let that dry for a little bit. Let's let that dry for a little bit. Then we could go in and retouch up the we could touch up the teeth. Let me still take a little bit of this brown we have. Mix it again with our lighter skin tone. Okay, it's still green on this. Hold on. Dirty brush, dirty brush. There we go. Light skin tan, a little bit of brown skin color, a little bit more. And with the smaller brush, that's a little wet right here. Add some more water to it. Let's once again do this edge. I like that. And like I said, we'll go back in with some white and yellow and really clean up the teeth. But I do like that. Just add a little bit on the side as if he's drooling. That's nice. Okay. Let it sit for a second or two. Let it do its thing. So those are the skin tones. We'll come back to those later. I pulled out red because I wasn't sure if I was going to use red or not. You have greens into like a... You can kind of see the color of like greens towards blue. So, let's do a base of a bright green for Audrey over here. before we do that, make some room. Let's clean these brushes. Might need to quickly do a new water. Yeah, let's get some new water. So this mat I'm using has a little pop-up water thing. Like you pull it out and it opens up to like a little water cup. But when you have to change water, it's attached to the table. You have to like dump the whole thing, which is why I'm not using the built-in cup that's attached to this latex. Not latex, silicone. Let's get some more water. Let's do a few coats on Audrey, and then I think we'll call it a night. Just go with light green for the main body. I'm thinking light green for the main body, a little bit of a darker green for the tendrils that kind of form around it. The real issue is, you know, you're dealing with greens, but Audrey has greens and red tones, like in the lips. And green and red is kind of hard to pull off without making it look muddy to the eye. So I gotta figure out like what shade of green and what shades of red. Maybe some yellows in there to lighten it up. I think I want to do the leaves also a light green as well. I'm trying to remember. So Audrey's voiced by a male actor. It's a famous male actor and I think singer as well. You know, has a very sultry voice. They only name Audrey or Audrey 2 because they're named after a woman the main character is in love with. But with all that being said, Audrey's a plant, and I can't remember if in the movie whether or not the main character calls Audrey him. I know he doesn't call Audrey her, but I can't remember if he calls Audrey him or just always refer to it as it because it's a plant. It just crossed my mind right now. I can't remember if they ever actually refer to it as him as a person or it as a thing. See if I take some of this more mustard yellow and mix it with the green. How's that look? Oh, it's a nice color. That's a nice color. Oh yeah, I like that a lot more. Yeah, to help differentiate between the different shades. Adding some of this more mustard yellow to it. And that definitely gives it a much lighter color. And then we'll leave the lips the darker color. And then we'll do the vines even darker. Yeah, mix it up a little bit, you know? Hmm. The smallest dot of red with this green. It just darkens it, really. I mean, that's like the perfect example. I don't know if you guys... Let me move it so you can see it on camera. That's a perfect example. Mixing red, like mixing this shade of red with this shade of green, truly darkens it. Like, that's how it's supposed to look. When it's, you know, that's how you blacken the color. You don't add black to it. Not what I'm looking for. But maybe I could do it for the spikes. Yeah, we'll use this shade of dark, almost black green for the spikes. Yeah, we're just going to have to let the lips dry and do a shade of red on top of it. It's kind of hard to blend the red into it. You're going to have to just do a secondary shade on top of it. Yeah, I like that. I like going with that darker green for the spikes. Nice. Alright. Speaking of darker, let's see how this works for the vines. Just keeping everything moist. That way it doesn't dry up on me. Feed me some more. Okay. Let's go to that darker green. It's almost like it's almost like that, like a blue. Kind of like, and I do like it. Oh, it does look good. Despite our background music, I still can't help but think of the music from the movie. Like it's right now playing in the back of my head. Yeah, we're not gonna go too crazy with Audrey. Because there's so many shades of green, it's like I definitely gotta work on it real hard to like um really make it work. I just kinda wanna do flat colors on the guy for now. And then I'll return to them later. Audrey's not gonna be done for tonight and the video. Switch to my slightly smaller brush. Does anyone remember? Like, I didn't watch it when it was out. I kind of found out about it definitely years later. But there was a Little Shop of Horrors cartoon, very short lived, but it was influenced by the movie. Not by the original movie or the stage play, but rather it was like inspired by, because basically when the Rick Moranis, I keep forgetting his name. Is it Rick Moranis? When that movie came out, it was like popular. It helped repopularize, or definitely like it jostled interest in the stage play. And they had them, and they made a cartoon on it, and they do what they used to do a lot. They made everyone kids. They what's it called? Pup named Scooby Doo. They kidified everyone for this for the film. I mean for the cartoon, because it's about a boy, it's about a young boy named Seymour trying to keep the plant from like eating the neighborhood while also taking care of it. It's kind of weird. But it was definitely one of those things where it's like, we're going to make a cartoon based on what is the fad at the moment. It's right up there with the MC Hammer cartoon. Hammer Man, Hammer, Hammer Man. With magical shoes. That's all I know about it. They told some poor guy, listen, we're gonna make a cartoon based on MC Hammer. Come up with a concept. He was like, I don't know. What if he has magical shoes? Oh, genius! Start animating. Okay. So basic idea. We're gonna go light green here, slightly darker for the lips. The leaves are gonna be the same color, and then we have this darker green, which is gonna be all the vines. Let's let that dry, and then let's let that dry a little bit, and then we might come back for a few more layers. Just adding some white back into the teeth, cleaning up the edges. Where's my yellow again? Remember my little mustard yellow. Just need a drop of it. There we go. Take some good amount of white. Mix it with that mustard yellow, just a pinch. Right now, just cleaning the edges where the teeth meet the gums, because some of the brown got onto the teeth. It's kind of blurring the line between gum and flesh. Sorry, between teeth and flesh. I think that's good. I think that's really good. I like this color. And then I'll do a... I'm almost afraid to do a black wash on it. I'll do a brown wash. I'll do a really careful brown wash on the skin. And I'll pour a little bit of black wash inside the mouth. Not too much though. Like between the teeth. But I like that. I think the green works better than just doing the inside black. So that mouth looks awesome. I think that's pretty much done, except for a little bit of, for the base color, it's done. Let me once again mix some of this green with some of this yellow. To get a light green for Audrey's main body, the head right here. There we go. It just needed an extra layer of paint. It's all gonna need an extra layer of paint. A few coats. This song kind of, now the song's fading away, it kind of makes me think of like Resident Evil for some reason. Like a slow, eerie build-up, you know? Yeah, I'm sorry because on the light on the Twitch stream really blows it out if I get too close to the camera. So sorry about that. But if I rest it on the table, it perfectly focuses on it. Okay. I am going to wet this paint. Close it up. Hopefully it'll be dry, a little bit dry when I come to it tomorrow. But not today. Let's do an overview. What was supposed to be a skull-faced goat with a big old hairy mane ended up looking more like Mothman. I might just go ahead and make this Mothman. I'll just, rather than do white, I'll just do gray and black shades. So that came out like that. We know our bug is fine. We started building up our slime dude. And the wolf, I'm very happy with the wolf. I still might do a little bit of a frill, like a little bit of a tuft on his chin. Maybe a little bit of a tuft on the top of his head. But overall, like the angry wolf, it works. This is pretty close to what I was aiming for. In fact, let me do one thing before it dries up too much. Hopefully I can still do this. Yeah, I want to give little dots in the nose. Like little skin pores, you know? Dogs don't sweat. Well, actually, dogs don't sweat, so... Do dogs have pores at all? Like, not paws. Pores, like sweat gland pores? I mean, they don't sweat. But do they have some... Do they still have some kind of pore in the skin? For, like, air? I don't know. Anyway. The wolf came out good. I like this. Hope you guys do. Audrey's coming out good, but man, the wetness is like reflecting really bad on the stream footage. On the Twitch stream footage, that is. Sorry about that. Let me turn down that music. Stand by. So to answer you, Ray, over on Instagram, I am aware and I have seen both endings of the Little Shop of Horrors. In fact, I mentioned this, I think, when we were sculpting this pin 2 days ago, I think. I mentioned it, and I get it. It was his vision to have like this huge theatrical ending where everything goes wrong, and it is darker, and it definitely matches, of course, the original movie. I don't know if the stage play is meant to end the exact same way. I don't know how the stage play goes, so I don't know how the stage play versus the remake movie go. Hold on. Woo! Excuse me. But I'm a sucker for a triumphant ending, so I do like the more happier / theatrical ending. I think the other one's considered. I think the other one is considered the director's cut. I like the happier ending. It's just that's how I am. That's just the kind of person I am. But I understand some people feel different. All right, just drying off my brushes. Okay, guys, I say we are done for now. Once again, the conventions I'm going to be doing. The first one starts next weekend. I'm definitely going to have at least these 2 pins ready to go, along with a series of other pins I've done. That is Cosmic Con in Queens, New York. Cosmic Con, it's a 2-day convention. Then after that, I'll be at Long Island for a convention, in Brooklyn for a convention, and so on and so forth. Yes, I hope to do another stream regarding these pins. If I don't do a stream, I'll still be working on the pins to get them done before next weekend. I want to thank everyone who's been joining me for the past several days, watching me sculpt them, watching me build them up, and then watching me paint them today, of course. All the streams are saved permanently on my YouTube channel, D.A. Burgos Art, The Burgos Art. You can check out all the social media links, obviously. Instagram is where I usually put up works in progress. So I'll be putting up close photographs of what we did today over on Instagram. Twitter for my ramblings, DeviantArt for my more completed work, and check out my official website, theburglesart.com, which is essentially a small gallery of recent works as well as a few small portfolios. It is a website that I'm slowly building up, but check it out. It's always good to just get some, some foot traffic. It's all underneath The Burgles Art. Everything's The Burgles Art, pretty much. And I believe that is it. So once again, guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.
Oh yeah, for sleeping pills.